Ah, a game of bright lights, beautiful colors, and trial and error. Welcome to Hyper Light Drifter. My name is Ryeniken, and today we investigate whether your hard-earned cash is well spent on a game like this, or whether you should save up for something else. Let's start with the basics. This is a dialogue-free game, with visuals and sound telling the entirety of a story. As such, a lot about the plot and beyond are up to interpretation. Without looking too deeply, your job is to collect little pink triangles to fill up a giant diamond shape in the hub area of this game. There are 16 of these things to collect, 4 in each area. Collecting all 4 allows you to fight a boss. And do you know how far I got into this game? 3. I got 3 pink triangles into the game before having to quit. This game, unlike the plethora of others I have played, does not hold your hand. You're in for a rough ride from the very beginning. You'll die over and over and over, and there is no way to cheese bosses or enemies. You just have to hit and kill them and hope that they don't hit you back. If I had to classify this game, it would be an RPG puzzle game with a combat system woven into the gameplay. With that said, I'm going to talk about what I liked and also what I didn't like about this game. For starters, I loved the combat. It was merciless. The difficulty is good. It's hard, but it's good. You only have 5 health. That's 5 mistakes or 1, depending on what hit you. The aesthetics of this game make it ideal for exploration. The beautiful landmarks come into view from one moment to the next, giving you a serious sense of distance traveled. And to be honest, that is the end of my likes. And unfortunately for me, and unfortunately for my poor downvote button, thanks to this game's fanbase, I'm going to be tearing into this game as much as you guys are going to be tearing into me. While the scenery is beautiful, and it's made for exploration, I did not enjoy exploring. It felt very elongated and stretched out. The map is your worst enemy. It's a series of either convoluted paths and rooms. See this dot? There's supposed to be a triangle here. But oh, yes, you guessed it. Can't get to it. Do I need a power-up? Do I need to collect something? I guess I'll never know. This game frustrates me. Mostly because it doesn't follow the formula that a lot of good games like Undertale or even Super Mario 64 follow. Why am I using these 2 games as examples? I'll tell you. Much like Hyper Light, Undertale has pixel animations, a combat system, and puzzles. The main difference between like Undertale and dislike Hyper Light Drifter comes from its use of area. Undertale has the player pass through an area once, maybe twice. You can backtrack if you wish, but the backtracking always has shortcuts, such as the Grim Reaper boat, and it always transports you to important places. Hyper Light Drifter has teleportation pads, but if they wanted to make this game good, they would have thrown in a few more. You remember that 4th and final pink triangle mentioned before? And how I didn't get it? Well, it takes a solid 5 minutes from either of the closest teleportation units to get to the entrance. Except maybe it isn't the entrance, I wouldn't know since the only thing I have to go off is the convoluted map. And I really don't want to look up guides for this. Super Mario 64, on the other hand, has a hub space that you pass through many times, but why isn't that boring? It's because the time it takes to transition from one area to the next is next to nothing. You know, this game has some pretty good reviews on Steam and other rating places, 4 to 4.5 stars even, which is great. However, this hitch, this stupid pink triangle, has caused me so much stress and hassle, I'm going to drop this game. This game, while good from a normal reviewer's eyes, did not hit mine as well as it did others. I mean, gosh, that is an amazing opening scene, but it just feels rough in comparison from there on for me. And after a bit of digging, I found out that I'm not the only one who has problems with parts of this game. Gay Fraud stated in his retirement of the game, that is, and I quote, much too hard for me, or for any human I know. The controls aren't good enough for the huge mobs and instant death mechanics. Back to Dark Souls and Super Meat Boy, I guess." End quote. And that is saying something. Every death sets you back a good ways too. The fights, while there are some, last quite some time. I'm gonna make sure that by the end of this video that I show you some raw footage of 1 failed and 1 successful run of a mini boss fight, which occurs before you get one of the triangles. Keep in mind, each of these failed attempts restarts the whole fight, and you never win these on your first go. I died on average 5 or 6 times per instance, sometimes more, sometimes less. Regardless, I love doing these raw footage moments at the end of my videos. It's a great way of feeling like I'm giving you, the viewer, an honest look into the game instead of an over-glorified point of view to prove my points. It also helps me hit that all-important 10-minute mark, which I feel isn't going to be that big of a problem in this video, but it is crucial for anyone with under 1,000 subscribers who wants their videos to actually show up in your feed. But before we get to the footage, it is time to give this game my official Ryeniken seal of pass or fail. Would I pay the current price of $21.99 Canadian for this game, which lasts on average 8 hours for the main storyline, or 30 hours for a full completion? No, I would not. And to be honest, while it looks great and all, I wouldn't want to play this game for that long. I would leave this game on the shelf. Thanks for hearing my opinion on this game. You know, it's really easy to follow the meta of, oh yeah, great game, 10 out of 10. But when a game smacks your giblets, like this one did to mine, it's a whole nother ballpark writing and recording a review that contrasts the popular norm. Anyways, on to the raw footage to better get yourself acquainted with what I was talking about. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this footage was able to further your decision on whether to buy this game or not. It personally was a no-go for me, but this might be right up your alley, so make sure to make the decision yourself. And make sure to subscribe for more weekly videos, and as always, I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye!